we are going to, I think we're gonna start since papasok na lang din siguro yung iba, no? Kasi it's already 9:02. So today we are going to discuss the 3 remaining topics for the midterm. Actually, this chapter includes 5 topics. Pero ang midterms, ang ini-include ko lang sa midterm is until exact differential equation lang. Today, we are going to discuss the separable differential equation or the variable separable, the homogeneous polynomial or homogeneous differential equation, and the exact differential equation. Testing whether a differential equation is exact or not, then solving the equation. Okay? So let's start with the separable differential equation or the variable separable. So this separable equation are differential equations that can be easily separated. Separated in which terms of same variables of the equation can be combined. Okay, so ibig sabihin yung lahat ng dy terms, i-combine natin, then yung lahat ng dx terms, x and dx terms, i-combine din natin before applying the direct integration. So this method applies direct integration on the separated terms. So we begin by discussing an equation of the form, the same sa form na dinidiscuss natin when we find general and particular solution of differential equation, which is the form m dx plus n dy is equal to 0, where m and n may be functions of x and y. Okay, some equation of this type are so simple that they can be put in the form. Ginagawa silang a sub x dx plus b sub y dy equal to 0. So in this form, this can be easily separated. Okay, x dx and y dy. Put all the y terms in the left side and all the x terms on the right side. Then perform the direct integration. So for this is only a matter of finding a function f, okay, whose total differential in the left member of the equation above, then f is equal to c, or the constant c is arbitrary constant. That is the desired result. So yun yung hahanapin natin, okay? When we solve a variable separable equation, we are going to find c. Then after finding c, we are going to substitute it to the original equation. Okay, so para mas maintindihan, look at this example. Obtain the particular solution satisfying the initial condition indicated. Malinaw ba class sa inyo yung sinishare kong screen o masyadong maliit? Okay na ba yan? Hello?
Okay naman po, sir.
Okay, sige. Kasi akala ko masyadong maliit. So, obtain the particular solution satisfying the initial condition indicated. Number 1, y prime is equal to x e raised to y minus x squared. So, particular solution yung hinahanap. So, yung given should have the values of x and y when x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0. So, ano unang gagawin? Find first the general solution. General solution, let's rewrite the equation. Yung y prime, gawin natin dy over dx, or the derivative of y with respect to x is equal to x e raised to y minus x squared, which can be written as x e raised to y over x e raised to x squared. Okay, since negative, sa baba siya. Okay? Then after that, cross multiplication lang to, yung yung dy pupunta sa kabila. So to the negative y dy is equal to x raised to negative x squared dx. So mapapansin nyo dito class, eto na yung form na a of x dx is equal to a sub y dy. Na-switch lang. So a sub y dy plus I is equal to b sub x dx. Ito na yung form na yun, okay? So, pag sabi dun sa discussion kanina, when we have this form, we can now easily integrate. Okay? So, when we have this, integrate both sides. Then, we have the general solution. So, the general solution, we have c. Okay? Meron na tayong arbitrary constant na c. Now, to obtain the particular solution, kung ang hinahanap class is only general solution, di okay na tayo dito. But merong given conditions na when x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0. Okay? So, substitute the value of x and y sa x and y ng equation na to. So, in this case, ang x and y is the exponent of e. So, substitute natin doon yung 0. So, c will be equal to 1/2. Okay? So, when we find c, sabi ko kanina, let us substitute c to the equation, then find y. Actually, class, when we substitute this, pag umabot kayo dito, kasi eto class, if hindi nyo na ma-recall, yung loss of exponent, the relationship of exponential and natural logarithm sa algebra. So, i-recall nyo na lang yun. Actually, ginagawa lang natin yun dito to simplify. But when you na-substitute nyo na ito ng tama, kahit huwag nyo na in-natural logarithm, okay na sa akin yun when sa midterm exam. Like kahit e raised to y na lang ang ano ninyo. Although, when you see sa mga books, ang last final answer talaga nila is in terms of y. Okay, but for me, ang important lang sa akin yung makita ko yung process ng solving, makita ko yung pag-get ninyo ng general solution, then pag-substitute ng values ng x and y, so on. Then getting the value ng c. Okay? Pero para recall na lang din ng loss of exponential function and natural logarithmic function. Ginagamit niyo yan sa ano, di ba? Dun sa Calculus 1 and Calculus 2. Okay, so after substituting the value of c, you get your final answer here. So the same problem, we have the quantity 1 minus x, derivative of y with respect to x is equal to y squared. So separate the variables, dy terms on the left side and dx terms on the right side. Okay? Divide by y squared and multiply by dx. Okay? So we have dy over y squared is equal to dx over 1 minus x. Ang multiply pala natin is dx over y squared times 1 minus x. Yun yung minultiply sa both, sa whole equation. Take note na whatever you do to the left side of the equation, you also do it to the right side of the equation. Okay? So, after ma-separate, we have all the dy terms here on the left side and all the dx terms on the right side. Then we can now integrate. So the integration of y raised to negative 2 dy is negative y raised to negative 1 dy plus c. And the integration of dx over 1 minus x is equal to negative ln times the quantity 1 minus x. Okay? So that is the formula. So balikan ulit natin yung formulas for integration. Okay? So advice ko lang sa inyo, maybe you should have the notes with you pag midterm exam natin, since i-upload ko lang din naman yung exam, then you are allowed to look at the formulas. But of course, it's under time pressure. So I advice ko lang na when you have these cheat sheets, kabisaduhin nyo kung saan nyo sinulat. Okay? Kasi isabay ninyo yung basic ng formulas for differentiation and formulas for integration para hindi makalimutan pag nag-solve ng mga ganitong problems. Okay? So, simplify, we have, kahit dito lang sa y raised to negative 1 is equal to ln. Transpose nyo lang yung c. It's okay for me na. Kahit hindi nyo na anyway, it's just basic since it's negative 1. Ginawa niyang 1 over y. Then ln c times, ito pa class yung mga laws of natural logarithm ginagamit sa pag-simplify. Okay, so to be safe, ganito na lang yung gawin nyo. Kasi kung hindi nyo na maalala yung rules of natural logarithmic function, so hanggang dito, okay na yun sa akin. As long as makita ko yung general solution nyo, meron ng arbitrary constant and na-integrate nyo ng tama. So, it's okay. Okay? So, what if yung binigay is trigonometric function? So, yun pa. When you have trigonometric function, when you are integrating trigonometric and inverse trigonometric functions, there are formulas na ginagamit natin dun sa pag-solve. So, yun dapat meron kayong notes nun. Kasi siguro kung face-to-face, kailangan nyo sa ulo. Dapat familiar kayo pa rin doon sa pag-solve ng trigonometric integration of trigonometric and inverse trigonometric function. So in this case, sine x sine y dx plus cosine x cosine y dy, you see it's very basic kasi yung sine x, when you put the dx term together and the dy terms together, you'll find sine x over cosine x dx plus cosine y sine y dy, which is tangent and cotangent respectively. Tangent x and cotangent y. Okay? So when you simplify this equation to this equation, perform direct integration na. So tangent x is integration of tangent x is natural logarithm of secant x plus the integration of cotangent y is the natural logarithm of sine y plus c. Okay? So yun, i-simplify ulit. ln secant x is equal to, nilagay sa kabila yung ln sin y, kaya naging negative ln sin y plus c. So ito class, pinakita ko lang, note that c is a constant and still equal to ln c para ma-simplify din siya. Yung y plus c kasi can be written as ln c times sin y inverse, and the relationship of course of the natural logarithm to exponential So, ang mangyayari, if you're going to write it in exponential terms, ln will be the exponent of e. Okay, tingnan nyo na lang dito, but para sa akin, if makuha nyo na to, then it will be fine. Pero maganda kasi class if naalala nyo pa rin itong ano, kaya sinabay ko pa rin siya sa solution. Yung second x, then yung e ln, maka-cancel siya class, and it can be written as second x equal to c sine y inverse, or 1 over cosine x is equal to c over sine y. Yung final answer ko dito is the simplest form, sine y is equal to c cosine x. Okay, so but here, okay na yun. Dito lang. Okay, so ulitin natin yung step-by-step process. When you are given a differential equation and you are asked to find the general solution, and it is in the form m dx plus n dy is equal to 0, you are going to separate the variables. Put the y terms all together on the left side and the x term on the right side. Pero okay lang din ganito, na sabay nyo muna siya lahat sa left side. Then transpose nyo na lang later on. Basta lahat ng dx terms, pagsamasamahin, lahat ng dy terms, pagsamasamahin before performing the direct integration. Then after finding the integral, after performing the direct integration, you'll find the general, simplify and you'll find the general solution. But if you are asked to find the particular solution, substitute the given values of x and y to find your final answer. Okay? When you substitute the values of x and y, you'll find the arbitrary constant c. Then after finding the arbitrary constant c, substitute it to the general solution. Then that will be your final answer na. Okay? Any question before we proceed to the next topic, which is homogeneous differential equation? Anyway, so matagal na din sa inyo itong ano, 'di ba? Itong material. So I am assuming na nabasa niyo na 'to. Ask ko lang pala, magmi-meet ba sa inyo ngayon si Sir Del Villar?
Kahapon po, sir.
Ay, kahapon nag-meet. Okay. Kasi oo, kahapon nga pala sabi ng Block A, all blocks daw yung minute ni Sir. Yeah, okay. So, okay pala tayo ngayon. Nag-midterm na kayo kay Sir Del Villar?
Next week rin po, sir.
Next week din. Ay, mas sasabay pala. Anyway, ano lang naman yung exam ko. Maikli lang naman yun. Anong araw sa kanya? Sige. Pag-usapan din natin yung sa atin na wag natin isabay in one day para hindi din kayo ma-hassle. Okay? Mamaya, discuss muna natin tong next. Okay? So, homogeneous differential equation. From the term itself, homogeneous, we can say that a particular polynomial is homogeneous polynomial if its all terms are in the same degree. Okay, so balikan natin yung degree ng differential equation. Example, itong mga given na solution, given na differential equation dito. Okay. Sorry class, dapat meron itong equal to 0 lahat. Okay? Pakiano na lang. So if we add all the exponent of the variables in each term, we will find that they are in the same degree. And therefore, the function is said to be homogeneous differential equation. So a first order differential equation in standard form is dy over dx is equal to f of x and y. Okay, so if the same class, ang kanina, very simple yung equation since it is in the form m dx and dy. For this one, we have two variables, x and y. So m of x and y plus n of x and y dy equal to 0, which can be written as dy over dx is equal to mxy over nxy. So, ano siya, implicit, you're going to solve it implicitly. So, gagaya nung pag-solve sa calculus 1 ninyo ng yung implicit differentiation. So, okay, when we have an equation sa form na ganito, so this now suggests that the transformation by introducing a new variable v para mas madali ma-solve, magsasubstitute tayo ng variable b. So it is done by putting, isusubstitute natin sa lahat ng y terms. Let's say you are given this equation. Okay, yung unang equation. Sa lahat ng y terms dyan, mag-substitute tayo ng vx. Then lahat ng dy terms, mag-substitute tayo ng v dx plus x dv. Okay, this is product rule, yung sa product rule ng vx. Okay? Or, take note or ha, hindi ito pagsasabay-sabay yun sa isang equation. Or x is equal to vy, sa lahat ng x, substitute natin vy, and lahat ng dx, substitute natin v dy plus y dv. The transformation will reduce any homogeneous equation to the form, ganito na siya, xv and nxv dv equal to 0. Or, sa y terms naman, ganito, in which the variables can be separated. Pag ganito na class, pwede na tayo mag-variable separable. After separating, the same, integrate. Then pag nakuha na natin yung, na-simplify na natin after integration, yung v will be replaced by y over x or x over y. Depende kung alin yung sinusubstitute natin dito. Itong y over x, this is just from here, y is equal to vx. So, since may v, ano yung v dito? V is y over x. Ano yung v dito? V is x over y. To recover the original variables. Okay? It is easy to substitute the differential of x or y that contain few variables than of many. Okay? So, hindi nakalagay sa problem kung alin dito yung gagamitin sa dalawa. Kayo magde-decide niyan if alin. Kung alin yung mas simple, mas kaunti yung variable, alin ba yung i-examine niyo yung problem? Alin ba yung mas kaunti yung variable? dy terms ba or dx term? Kung dy terms, y yung gagamitin. Kung dx term yung mas simple, x yung gagamitin. Okay? So, para mas maintindihan ng mas... Ito, sample. So, x squared minus 4xy plus y squared dy plus xy dx is equal to 0. Okay? This is the dy terms. This is the dx term. Sa class, hindi nyo pa muna pagsasama-samahin yung lahat ng dy, lahat ng y. Kasi hindi nyo yun magagawa pag ganitong form, pag homogeneous. So, eto muna. Kung ano lang yung given, wala pa kayong gagawin, hindi nyo pa gagalawin yung equation, titingnan nyo pa lang siya. Alin ba yung mas simpler terms? Dx term ba or dy terms? Dito, ang dx contains only one term. Diba? xy lang. Unlike dy, three terms dito. So, ang simpler terms is yung dx term. So, we are going to substitute x is equal to by and dx is equal to v dy plus y dv. Okay? So, yun yung unang gagawin nyo pag binigyan kayo ng homogeneous differential equation. Pag pinapahanap yung family of solution or the general solution. Sample. So, ito. So, binigyan ng 3 times the quantity 3x squared plus y squared dx minus 2xy dy equal to 0. So, the function is said to be homogeneous and the dy term has a relative simplicity. Okay, yung dy terms, ito, yung mas simple. Unlike dito na there are two terms sa dx. So, let y be equal to vx and dy is equal to v dx plus x d. Paki-correct na lang ito class, x dv. Okay, this is dv. Dito naman, tama naman yung substitute natin. Then substitute. After substituting, perform the yung sa algebra, yung pag-simplify ng may mga parentheses. Then, multiply. Ito, may mga exponent hanggang maalis ninyo yung mga parentheses natin. Okay? Algebra lang to lahat. So, when you find this one, combine similar terms. After combining similar terms, find the common terms kung meron. So, in this case, the common sa kanila ang x squared. So, the common term is x squared. So, divide both sides by x squared. We find this one, 9dx plus v squared dx minus 2xv dv. Okay? So, ito na, nakuha na natin to simplest form. Then we are going to proceed with the separation of variables or the variable separable. This is already a variable separable equation. So, lahat ng dx and lahat ng dv, pag samasamahin natin, dx over x, then dv, 2v dv, 2v dv over 9 plus v squared. Then, integrate. Okay? So, after integrating, we have ln x minus ln 9 plus v squared is equal to c. Integration na ito, nito. Okay, so simplify this one. ln x over 9 plus v squared is equal to c. So, i-exponential natin siya both sides para maalis yung ln dito. X over 9 plus v squared is equal to e raised to c. So, kung ano yung ginawa sa left side, yun din yung gagawin sa right side. To note that e raised to c is equal to c, and if y is equal to, yun na, ano yung sinubstitute natin sa y, di ba? So, after natin ma-integrate and ma-simplify, babalikan natin yung sinubstitute natin na y is equal to vx. Then, ano yung original equation? X and y, di ba? So, ibabalik natin yon. Dapat wala tayong v. So, sa first step ng solution, may substitute natin yung y is equal to vx. Therefore, v is equal to y over x. So, substitute lang natin yun sa v. y squared over x squared, then simplify it. We have this one. So if you have, kung okay na sa inyo to, okay na din yan. Hanggang dito. Paka-substitute ng x and I sa v ng y over x. Okay? So, sa sample number 2, same process class. Okay, ano yung gagawin na una? Ito class, ang ano nito, itong sample number 2, both dy and dx can have relative simplicity kasi same binomial, same terms, 2. So, it's up to you. So, kung x yung gagamitin or y yung gagamitin, you're going to arrive in the same answer lang naman. Pareho yung ma-arrive kayo sa tamang sagot. Parehas. So, yung ginawa ko dito is y, substitute ko yung y is equal to vx and dy is equal to v dx plus x dv. Then the same. Anyway, step by step naman ito. Hindi naman ako mag-shortcut dito. Then after simplifying, okay, ang unang gagawin is determine kung anong term ang may relative simplicity. Then after mahanap kung alin yung mas simple, substitute nyo yung y is equal to vx and dy is equal to v dx x dv. Then after substituting, simplify, combine similar terms kung meron. Then after simplifying, separate the variables. Separation of variables na. Then after separation of variables, integrate. Okay, dx term and v dv terms. So after integrating, simplify ulit. Then when you find this one, substitute na yung v. Okay? Kung kung pwede pa siyang ma-simplify, huwag nyo munang i-substitute yung y over x sa v kasi mahihirapan tayo niyan mag-simplify since may magdadagdag kayo ng fraction. So, mas maganda if you're going to substitute the values of v right after you simplify your answer. Okay, so pag meron na kayong nakuha nyo na to, simplest form, substitute na yung v is equal to y over x. And, yun. Kung pwede pa ma-simplify, sige lang. Hanggang makuha nyo yung final answer. Okay? So, etong notes, pwede nyong guide when you answer the midterm exam para hindi makalimutan itong mga sinasubstitute dito. Pero ano lang naman to, product rule lang naman to. So, yun yung homogeneous class. Lahat ng homogeneous differential equation problems, ganun yung process. Okay, naintindihan ba yung step by step na nakuha ba? Okay naman ba? Before we proceed sa exact, yung last topic for the midterms. So, medyo na sa inyo sa block A, na discuss namin siya isa-isa. Namimit ko sila lagi pag Monday. Medyo nagkakaproblema kaya na pag sabay-sabay. Kasi sabi ko, medyo talaga i-absorb. Mahaba yung solution dito Pero, I think it's okay naman kasi matagal ko na din na-upload yung materials. Yung discussion lang naman yung na-late. Kaya sinabay ko na kasi next week tayo mag-exam. Okay? So, ito. Okay na ba? May question ba dito sa, sa homogeneous? Or kung Kaya kagaya ng may mga nag-chat din sa akin, I hope nasasagot ko lahat. If my question regarding sa lectures, and siguro syempre nahihiya magtanong dito kasi napoprolong yung natin. Sabi ko nga, lahat ng ang lectures dapat mga 30 minutes lang yung max, 30 to 45. You can i-screenshot nyo, then state nyo yung tanong nyo. And lalo na pag mga kailangan, pinopost ko naman sa group chat. Pag may nagtatanong sa akin, sinasagot ko sa direct message and sinasagot ko ulit sa group chat para ma-inform din yung iba, lalo na pag may mga errors, yung problems. Okay, so chat nyo na lang ako if mayroong concern regarding sa binigay kong problems and dito sa lecture. Okay, so exact differential equation. This is the last topic for the midterm. So in solving exact differential equation problems, class, it is important to know the method of partial differentiation. Okay, recall ulit natin yung partial differentiation. It will be useful in the determination of the exactness of the equation. Also, partial integration class applicable as part of the solution in solving this kind of differential equation problems. Yung kaninang sinosolve natin sa yung finding the general and particular solution, yung sa first topic, para hindi malito. Ang form nun is ax bx plus by dy as a set of solutions by integration. But if the equation is in the form, the same siya class ng form ng homogeneous, but hindi siya homogeneous. Hindi equal yung exponents ng mga variables niya when you add it. Pero same the mxy dx plus nxy dy. We can simply determine its set of solution by separation of variables. So the expression mxy dx plus nxy dy equal to 0 is a first order differential form in two variables. However, this equation can be written in standard derivative form, which is yung dy over dx is equal to mxy over nxy, which is equal to f of x and y, function of xy siya. Okay? So therefore, function of x of y is equal to c, since the partial derivative of f is equal to 0. So bakit? Kasi when you perform partial differentiation with respect to a variable, you treat all the other variable as a constant. Okay? Then certainly, we are going to have the simplest form m dx plus n dy. Ito yung first na tandaan. Okay, so ito yung mga nauna, I am just explaining it to you kasi yung derivation and the explanation ng formulang gagamitin natin. Ito yung unang tatandaan. Medyo mahaba yung steps kasi nitong medyo maraming steps. So as it follows, so the partial differential of f is equal to the partial differential of f with respect to x dx plus partial differential of f with respect to y dy, where m is equal to the partial differential of f with respect to x and n is equal to partial differential of f with respect to y. Pangalawang tatandaan. Okay? We have this one, m dx plus n dy is equal to 0, and we have the value of m and n. Okay? So, and their partial derivatives are the partial derivative of m with respect to y is partial derivative squared f over partial differential of y with times partial differential of x, and sa n naman, partial differential of n with respect to x is equal to partial differential squared f over partial differential x partial differential y, provided that these conditions are continuous. So, but in calculus, when you solve this problem, these are equal. Okay, sa partial derivative and partial integration. So, the equation is exact if, okay, yung mga tatandaan nyo ha, ito, tandaan yan. So, the equation is exact if the partial differential of m with respect to y is equal to the partial differential of n with respect to x. So, yun yung unang gagawin natin sa problem. Ipoprove natin na equal itong dalawa. Using yung mga sabi kong tandaan na formula. So, ito yung step-by-step niya sa example. So, binigyan tayo ng equation. X plus y dx, or the quantity x plus y dx, plus the quantity x minus y dy equal to 0. Ano yung unang gagawin? Hanapin kung ano yung m and kung ano yung n. Ano yung m? Yung m is yung term na nasa dx. M is equal to x plus y. Ito. Ano yung n? Yung term na nasa dy, which is x minus y. Then find its partial derivatives with respect to y pag m. And sa n, partial derivative of n with respect to x. Ito siya class, di ba? So, yun yung hahanapin. Tandaan, m with respect to x, ay with respect to y, and n with respect to x. So, yung sagot is both 1. Okay? So, with respect to y, treat all the other variables as constant. Then, perform the derivative. So, the equation is exact since both 1 yung sagot. Okay? So, yun yung unang gagawin. The equation is exact. I-prove if the equation is exact or not. So, kung hindi siya mag-equal, so sabihin nyo na lang na the equation is not exact. Pero syempre, hindi naman ako magbibigay na hindi exact. Kasi what's the point of solving that problem na hanggang dun lang sa paghanap ng partial differential of m and n with respect to y and x respectively, di ba? So, next. Hahanapin yung f. Paano hahanapin itong f na to? Partial derivative of f with respect to x is equal to m, di ba? Nasaan na yung ano dito? Ito, yung sabi kong pangalawang tatandaan. Partial derivative of f with respect to x is equal to m. But we have the value of m, di ba? So, ito. Partial derivative of f with respect to x is equal to m, which is equal to x plus y. Therefore, partial derivative of f is equal to x plus y times dx. Cross multiplication lang yun. Galing yun dito. Okay, so partial derivative of f with respect to x times, partial derivative of f is equal to the quantity x plus y partial derivative of x. So, nandito na sa form na to, you can perform partial integration to find f. So, the partial integral of f is equal to the partial integral of x plus y dx. So, eto na yung f niya, class. 1/2 x squared plus xy plus t sub y. Ano tong t sub y? Di ba pag meron tayong, pag nag-integrate tayo, merong constant. So, that is the constant. So, merong plus c, di ba? Doon. So, dito, since ginawa natin siyang t sub y, since it is a function of y. So, yun na lang ang gamitin para uniform. Yung variable na lang yun ang gamitin. Kasi mamaya, gagamit tayo ng c. So, okay. So, meron na tayong f. Anong gagawin? Find the partial integration of this f with respect to y naman. Kanina, ginamit partial integration, partial differential of f with respect to x. So, when you find f, after finding f, get the partial derivative of f with respect to y. Okay, so partial differentiation naman tayo. Ng 1/2 x squared plus xy plus t sub y. We have x plus t primes of y. Kasi inano na siya, kinuha yung first derivative. First partial derivative. So, t primes of y. So, ano yung mapapansin ninyo dito sa the partial differential of f with respect to y? From the formula above, yung sabi kong tandaan, the partial differential of f with respect to y is just equal to n. And we have a value for n. Okay, so partial differential of f with respect to y is equal to n. Ito yung partial differential of f with respect to y na computed from this f. But we have value for partial differential of f with respect to y, which is n, which is x minus y. Okay? So let us substitute x minus y to this one, to partial differential of f with respect to y. Okay? So we have x minus y is equal to x plus t primes of y. Ito siya, class. Ito lang siya. Pinalitan lang natin yung partial differential of f with respect to y ng x minus y. So, x minus y equal to this one. X plus t primes of y. So, pag nakuha na natin, substitute na natin yun, let's simplify and find t primes of y. Actually, ang hanapin natin is yung t sub y. So, t primes of y is equal to negative y, then integrate to find t sub y. So, we have t sub y equals sa negative 1/2 y squared. Okay, we have na t sub y. Okay, yung meron na tayong t sub y. Tandaan yung f, huwag kalimutan yung f na sinolve natin kasi yun na yung final answer natin. Ang problema lang, kulang siya ng t sub y. Hahanapin pa natin siya na yung t sub y natin. Yung f, after the integration, after makuha ng if the equation is exact, etong f na ito, that will be your final answer provided na makuha nyo itong t sub y. Okay? So, the process of getting t sub y is this one. So, pag nakuha nyo na itong t sub y, isubstitute nyo siya doon sa f. So, that will be your answer na. So, since f is equal to c, substitute c dito sa f. Then, you can easily get rid of the fraction by multiplying by 2. So, you have 2c is equal to x squared plus 2xy minus y squared. So, ito, just to make the equation proper, but it's okay if you don't do this naman. Kasi ang c kasi, class, universal siya kahit gawin nyo siyang e raised to c or ln c. Parehas lang siya just to make the equation uniform. Kaya ginawa na C1. So, the same. Okay na itong answer na to. Okay. So, medyo ano yung process niya. Dito sa number 2, the same process. Okay? So, ulitin natin dito sa number 2 yung process. The first is to determine M and N, which can easily be determined naman kasi in the X term is the M and the Y term is the Y. Ito, simplify nyo to. Ito yung N ninyo. Okay? And get the partial derivative of M and N with respect to Y and X respectively. So, both 2Y yung sagot. So, it means that the equation is exact. Then, after makuha, find F. Okay, tandaan yung derivative of F with respect to X muna ang gagamitin. Partial derivative of F with respect to X is equal to M, which is 6X plus Y squared. Then, cross multiply, lipat sa kabila yung partial derivative of X. To find F, integrate. Then we find F. After integration, eto na yung sagot na hahanapin na lang natin yung t's of y. Okay? So, yung paano natin mahanap yung t's of y? Ito class, after integration and simplifying, we have t's of y. To have t's of y, to find t's of y, isolve natin yung partial differential of f with respect to y. Okay, so 2xy plus t primes of y, that is the first derivative. So, but, again, the partial differential of f with respect to y is n. Diba? So, what is n? N is 2xy minus 3y squared. Substitute natin dito. 2xy minus 3y squared is equal to 2xy plus t primes of y. Simplify, we get negative 3y squared as the t primes of y. Integrate this to find t's of y. We have negative y cubed. Okay, so meron na tayong t's of y. Saan ito isa-substitute na t's of y? Doon sa computed value ng f. This one. So, f is equal to 3x squared plus xy squared minus y cubed. F is just equal to c. So, yung sagot natin is ito. 3x squared plus xy squared minus y cubed equal to 0. Okay, ulitin natin yung step-by-step process. When you are given this kind of problem, first is to find m and n. Then after finding m and n, find the partial differential of m with respect to y and the partial differential of n with respect to x. Pag parehas yung sagot, the equation is exact. So, pag nakuha ng exact yung equation, find the differential of f with respect to x, which is equal to m. Okay? Para hindi malito, palagi una yung m sa pag-solve. Then cross multiply, then integrate, we'll find f. Sabi ko, ito yung f, ito na yung final answer. Hahanapin na lang yung t's of y. So after finding this f, we'll find the partial differential of f naman with respect to y. Kanina with respect to x, ngayon with respect to y naman. From this one. after solving the partial differential of f with respect to y, substitute the value of n, since partial differential of f with respect to y is equal to n, substitute natin dito to find t primes of y. When you find t primes of y, integrate to find ty, t's of y. Then substitute the t's of y sa f na computed natin kanina. Then palitan yung f ng c. So that will be the final answer. So itong linear equation of order 1 sa after midterms na ito. So okay ba na may mga questions ba before tayo mag photo for documentation? So pag balik-balikan nyo lang itong problems, yung mga sample problems, and you can have other reference naman to in solving.
Ay, sir, ask lang po. Sis po.
Sige.
Paano po kung nauna si N sa paggamit, hindi si M po?
Actually, you're going to arrive in the same if n yung una mong gagamitin. But para sa akin kasi, merong mga problems na actually I tried some of the problems to arrive in the same answers. But merong mga problem kasi na parang iba yung approach niya. Mas maganda unahin yung M. So I advise na gawin natin M yung unahin natin sa pag-solve. Kasi merong mga ibang approach na mga problem sa ibang books. Na pag parang medyo mahirap hanapin yung sagot pag inuuna yung May mga problems na okay, siguro nagkataon lang na kasi sometimes 'di ba ang partial differential, partial derivatives nagkakaroon ng same na sagot kahit different yung problem. Nakadepende kasi may magsi-zero kasi, 'di ba? Siguro yun yung yung nagiging reason. Pero to make sure, sundan na lang natin itong kasi if you've tingnan niyo yung other books, M and N laging inuuna nila yung M. Kasi para maiwasan na din yung errors.
Thank you po, sir.
Okay, sige. Any more questions? Nag-sched ako ng exam na sa Block A, but sa inyo, since update nyo na lang ako kung ano yung date na ibibigay ni Sir Del Villar para hindi natin maisabay. Kaya sa group chat na lang siguro i-update nyo. Kasi iba yung schedule ng Block A sa inyo eh. Monday, Wednesday yung Block A. Kayo, Tuesday and Thursday. Okay? So, i-update nyo na lang ako para hindi mapagsabay-sabay, para may oras din kayo to review. I-upload ko din pala yung mga keto corrections ng exercises para mapag-aralan nyo din. Okay? So, if okay na or wala nang mga katanungan, pag-on na lang natin yung cameras para sa documentation, sa reports namin.